What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Awesome Show. Today we're looking at the G.I. Joe Classified Series Retro Cardback Collection figures. What I'm calling is Wave 1. So we have these four that were Walmart exclusive figures that we picked up back during like a Walmart con, whatever they call them, where these went up for order. But these are pretty much just the G.I. Joe Classified figures, just retooled and redesigned with looks similar to their old original G.I. Joe figures and on classic cardbacks. So you can see, like with Lady Jaye here, has the picture and everything much like the old figure, just obviously redesigned to match with the new figure. So they're pretty much the figures we already have, and of course we'll look at them when we go through, but they do have more of those modern looks just with the classic design to them. So first up here we have Baroness and Lady Jaye, so both of those look really cool. And then we also have Destro and Gung-Ho. So these look really cool as well, especially Gung-Ho. I love those colors on him, but all the other figures look relatively the same. And if we go ahead and look on the back, we can see the figures there. So there we have the Baroness and Lady Jaye, and then Gung-Ho and Destro there. So that's what I'm calling Wave 1. I know there are at least 2 more figures, but we don't know when those are going to be coming in, so we'll probably have to do those later, and I don't know if those are Wave 2 or continuation of Wave 1. They're just not on the back of the boxes like these 4 figures are, so that's why we're only doing these 4 at the moment. But I'm excited to check them out and see their comparison to the figures we already have. So let me get them open out of the box. Our boxes are all dented and damaged stuff because they are from Walmart shipping, and so they're not in any good shape, so there's no reason to keep these on card, so we're going to go ahead and open them. But let me get them out of the box and we'll take a look at them together. So we're starting off with Baroness, and since we've already looked at these figures, I'm not going to go into any real details about them. We're just going to look at the actual figure itself. So Baroness looks good here. Of course, more based off her classic look from like the old 80s toys, and if I can find good pictures of them, I'll put them up just so you can see the comparison. So she doesn't have a lot of the new looks that they're doing with like the classified, that they've started to tone down some, but she just doesn't have all those same looks. But she looks good with the all black hair, the glasses on that we can actually take off. Then her outfit's pretty much just all black. There's not much any other colors to it besides the red of the cobra there, and I like that her armor's all shiny. So she has the chest armor, the armor up on her shoulders, on her forearms, and down on her legs, so all that's shiny, and everything else is just a matte finish, so you can see the design in it. It's got the exact same design as the other figures, just the colors and stuff are different. As I said, she's just all black for this version, and we'll go ahead and bring in that older classified one so you can see the differences. So again, this is supposed to be the modern take, so she has some gold up on her glasses, some gold on the weapons, but everything else looks pretty much the same. She has some like gray in the midsection and down on her thighs, where this it's just the all black, and she doesn't have the red cobra painted on the belt either, which I kind of like that better. But either way, you can see the differences, so there's not much different to them. And then I don't know what they've changed or if it just happens to be it, but I don't have nearly as many issues with this figure, the new one, as I do with this old one. Like trying to get the stand, there's just so many issues, but this one I don't have any issues, so I like that a lot. But let's go and do her movements. So her head there can twist a little side to side. It's going to be hard with her hair there, but can twist a little side to side. She can look down that far and up just pretty much straight on. As I mentioned, her glasses do come off, so you can easily slide them off. So if you don't want to have them there, you just have the holes in the side there, unfortunately, but they easily slide in and out. And when you put them on, they don't fall off very easily, so I like that. And with her joints as well, she does also have a lower neck joint. It's going to be hard to kind of show it in there, but she does have the lower joint, so it gives you a little bit more movement back and forth, but still with her hair, it kind of defeats all that. But then we get the shoulders that can come up, so if we get it to bend, so it has the soft shoulder pads so they get out of the way, so it can come up to 90. She has the butterfly joints, and of course can rotate all the way around, and these shoulder joints are connected in there, so they rotate around with it. But then she has the single elbow joint that can bend pretty much to 90, a little bit under. It feels like I feel the armor is getting in the way because it does show it can bend more there, so get up close to 90 there, and it has the rotation. And then the wrist can twist around and flex up and down. It's a gun hand, so it flexes up and down here. And then we have the ab crunches, so it looks like she has an upper crunch right under her chest plate here, so crunch back and forth, so forward and back, so pretty good crunching, and has maybe a little bit of a twist, but then also has a crunch at the waist, which is going to be hard to see. You can kind of see it there, so crunch back and forth and twist around. Then the hips can come up to 90 and out to the side that far, pretty much can do the splits. And the G.I. Joes have the drop down hips, so you have to kind of push them back up in there to get them back to normal. But a thigh twist that twists all the way around, the double knee joint that bends up that far to the back, so not the best but not bad. And then the foot can flex back and forth and can twist side to side. So as I said, she's designed exactly the same as the last one, but I just don't have nearly as many issues like fighting with her to stand out. Like, so I don't know if that's just age on that old one or what the deal is, but getting her to stand is just pretty easy. She just like stands there. But if we do have a lot of issues, it's cool. They do come with these all black bases, has the Cobra logo on there, so you know for Cobra, has 2 pegs to put her feet on. And there's a slot here that I feel you'd put a sticker on or should be labeled with like each character, but they just left them blank, but it still has like this little cutout section. But it's still pretty cool design overall, so let's pop her on it. So putting her on there, we should definitely not have any issues now, and I like that because because this will make it much easier to like put these on shelves, not have to worry about them falling. And then it kind of confines them to this base plate, so that's, you know, as much space as you need. So that is pretty cool. I do like this. And then she comes with a number of accessories, so we kind of already showed off the glasses. She comes with 2 pistols, so we have these 2 pistols here that we can put into her hands. She has trigger fingers on both, but since she does have the nice holsters here on the back, we'll go ahead and just slide them in here. So there's the guns and the holsters there, so that looks awesome. And then she comes with some other guns. So first off, we have just this rifle design. I don't know what these are supposed to be, because you know they have sort of that futuristic look to them, but it looks cool with this just rifle design here. And as you saw, it has the peg, so that's usually where we can peg them into her back. And she does have a hole, but because of her hair, it'll be hard to get this pegged in there, so I don't think we'll be able to do that. But let's go ahead and just stick it in one of her hands. So there, I put the rifle in that hand. And then she also comes with a sniper rifle, so a big gun here, big sniper rifle with awesome design. You can see the little magazine design, the scope on top, of course the long barrel, everything about it just looks super cool. It does have that futuristic design, as I said, but we can deal with that. Again, it has that peg piece that we could put into her bag, but let's try and just put this in her hand. So there, I just put the sniper rifle in there. Since she has 2 guns, it's hard to put them in both hands, but there we can just have her standing there, which overall I think is pretty cool. I wish she had some more range in her elbow to be able to pose with this gun a little bit more, but there's probably about the best we can get her to do, and she looks like she's maybe falling back. But either way, I do really like this figure. I like the overall design with it being mostly all black. It does feel a lot more classic. I like that she comes with all the weapons and then has the base to put her on. Like I said, that'll help with putting them on shelves. So very cool just overall for this Baroness figure. And next up, we have Lady Jaye, which looks cool. And again, she's going to be just like the Baroness was. She's almost just like the first classified figure we got, just modified, but less issues with her. Getting her to stand. That other one I have so many issues with, but she's actually standing here pretty nice. And then, of course, they come with the base, so it makes her even easier. But overall, she just looks good here. I like the design with the brighter green color, so it's much more of like a more neon green. Has the nice black hat, a brown belt around her waist, black gloves, and then black shoes there on her feet. But overall, the design is going to be exactly the same. So we can go ahead and bring in that older version here, so you can see she's got more of the much darker army green color, a blue hat with the Joe's logo, where this one has more like some wrinkles on her hat as well as there on her chest. But overall, the designs, you know, like I said, almost exactly the same. Nothing's really changed with it. Just for some reason, this other figure has so many issues standing, and not just because of her weapons. The figure itself is messed up. Like, look at her legs. Like, even trying to get them straight on, the legs are off. So don't know what's really going on with her. But just overall, just starting out, I really like this Lady Jaye's look. But we can do her movements, so her head there can twist all the way around. Of course, her hairpiece comes off and it fell off there. Can twist all the way around. You can see the upper neck joint there, and has the lower joint as well. So with that, we can get the head to move back and forth, and then even further down and further back with those joints working together. And so as you see there, she does have the hairpiece that comes off, and you can switch out the hair, but this one doesn't come with any extra hair pieces. I don't like that the hair comes off, so we may end up like gluing this down or something just so we don't have to worry about it. But yeah, you can do it. But then we get the shoulders that can come up to 90, have the butterfly joint, and can rotate all the way around. We get a bicep twist, the double elbow joint, which is good for a female figure to have double elbow joints, can bend all the way up there, so that's really good. So better movements than the Baroness already. The wrist can twist around and flex up and down again. We have the up ab crunch right under her chest, so crunch back and forth, you know, very little, and a little bit of twisting as well. So this joint's pretty much pointless. It doesn't really do much. And then we have her lower joint right at her hips, where there we can get a little bit more crunching and can twist around there as well. The hips can come up to 90, out to the side that far. Again, the drop down hips, so you gotta push them back up in there. Then we get the thigh twist that twists all the way around. The double knee joint that bends up that far to the back. Shin twist at the top of the boot, and then the foot flexes back and forth and twists side to side. So pretty good figure. Has better movements than Baroness already. So like I said, a pretty good figure, and I just really like this design. Now, as I said, I don't really have any issues standing her, but again, she comes with a plate. So we have their plate for the Joes this time, so as their logo, of course, the 2 pegs, and then a little slot for like the sticker name piece. But let's put her on it. So she's on the base, and now we'll have no issues standing. And she comes with a number of accessories. So first off, we get a backpack, again in this all green color, very reminiscent of the original figures. So it has the all green there that we can pop into her back. So it just sticks on there like that, which looks decent. She also comes with a video camera, which I don't really know what we would do with this besides just put it into her hand. But the other one had the video camera on her backpack, and then she just has the handheld video camera, again, much like the original one. So that's pretty cool. So it has the strap. You'd probably just hang it around on her shoulder. Maybe we may do that, or we could just take and put it into her hand, but you can just slide it on there if you want. She also comes with a knife, so she just has this little knife dagger thing that we can put into into her sheath right here on her pocket. So it just slides in the front there. And finally, we have our signature weapon of the javelin. So we have these like big spear pieces. So we have the spear point as well as the gun to shoot it. So we can just take and slide this in there and then put that in our hand. So it's this nice javelin piece that shoots off. But we also get an additional head for it. So like we did with our other ones, we have this head as well, whatever it would be, maybe like a grenade or some sort of EMP design. But we can just take and pop this one off so you can see the color differences there. You just pop the head piece off there and switch it out if you want, but we'll just leave the pointed one on. So there is Lady Jaye with the javelin launcher in her hand, and that overall looks pretty cool. So I like this figure a lot, and I like the G.I. Joes, as I've mentioned before, a lot of because you can store a lot of their weapons. So unfortunately for her, the only thing we have left is just this extra headpiece. We have nowhere to stick it on her. But overall, she looks really good, and I like this figure a lot. Like, I like her colors more, and like I said, just have a better time with the figure overall compared to the last one, and having the base is awesome for him. So I just really like this figure. And next up we have Destro, which again is going to look like his classic figure, but of course with him there's not really much difference between him and the older figures, just very minor changes. So let's go ahead and bring that older one in here. So there's again the first Classified Series one. We got just the very first one they released. So they changed the chain color of his necklace. It's gold on the first Classified, silver on this new one. He has more of the black color design there on the collar piece where they painted it all red on this one. The belt designs are a little bit different, so I like how he has the little logo there on it, where this one's just all painted red. Belt's pretty much the same, just changed up the color with painting the front pocket. And then everything else about him, just they changed some of the silver, so this new one has a much like silver shinier head. Everything else is pretty much exactly the same. They didn't really change much for him. Either way, he's not bad, but I do really like this design. But for his movements, his head can twist around. It's hard to get all the way around because of the color piece, but if you kind of use his joint to get it around it there, but then you can look down that far and up that far. So pretty good movements, nice easy movements there. And he also has the lower neck joint. His is much more blended in, but you can kind of get it to bend around in there, as you can kind of see. So it doesn't really do much, but his neck joint's pretty good just overall. His shoulders can come up to 90 and rotate all the way around. He's got the butterfly joint and a bicep twist, double elbow joint that bends up just about that far. It's hard with his like armor design stuff to get further than 90. The wrist can twist around and flex up and down for this hand again, and I like his like robotic-y hand. He's got that prep crunch, so crunch forward and crunch back, so he has good crunching, you know, compared to the females. They just had the little crunch, but he has the joints cut out so he can crunch really far forward and really far back, and then also has the hip one so he can come even further forward and further back there. So pretty good overall, and twist around at the waist as well. So I like the male joints much better, like for the midsection stuff. They work out more. I wish they would do that with like the females. But then the hips can come up to 90 and out to the side. He can do the splits. Again, the drop down hips, so both of his hips just got out of place. But then he has a thigh twist that can twist around. You just have to worry about the holster and stuff on his thigh, and it messes around with his belt. But a double knee joint that can bend up to the back. It's pretty stiff, but can bend up that far, pretty much kicking his own butt. Shin twist at the top of the boot, and then the foot can flex back and forth and twist side to side. So not a bad figure for him. I like his joints, doesn't really have any issues, and of course I don't recall any issues with that older one, so it's, you know, probably going to be exactly the same. Just like I said, I like his colors overall more. Just the more shininess of his head is just standing out a lot to me. But of course we do have his base to put him on, so again another Cobra base, and it's weird that I've noticed the Cobras are a lot shiny, but the Joe's ones are more matte, so that's kind of weird, but we'll pop him on. And then he comes with pretty much the exact same accessories as the other one did. So first off, we have his case here, so the case with the Cobra, that does open up. It's a little bit hard to open here, but then we have the computer, so I like how it's got like stuff with the Mars on the screen there, of course the money up top, keyboard, Cobra logo there at the bottom, so just like the older ones. So that's cool, so we can put this into his hand. And then for weapons, first off we get a pistol, so we have just this little handgun pistol, again futuristic design, it almost looks like a revolver, which is cool, that we'll put into the thigh holster. So that's in his thigh there. And then we also have his gun, so whatever sort of like SMG sort of gun here, that looks cool, very similar to his other one, has the scope up top and everything. So we have this gun we'll put into his hand. So there's Destro all decked out, which looks pretty cool. So I've liked the Destro figures in the past and like this one as well. So another good Destro. This would definitely be one replacing the others on the shelf. And finally, that brings us to Gung-Ho, which to me probably has like the best overall changes to him because it's like the most noticeable and different. And I really love the look of this Gung-Ho, just with the bluish like teal design, like an aqua maybe. Just that color design for his pants and the jacket and everything just overall looks good. It is the exact same figure, so the body design, everything's going to be exactly the same. Jay's just changed up the colors a lot and made it more classic, which is really cool. And we'll go ahead and before we put anything on and bring in the older ones. So here is the older classified version. So you can see the difference there. The overall body is exactly the same. As I said, they just changed up the colors. So I definitely like this retro one with the blue colors compared to just all like camo and green. So there's that difference. But then of course we also bought the Gung-Ho pack from the Action Force for this. So we bought another one of the Gung-Hos and then got the Action Force pack. So you get the like different colors with the blues and a different color hat. But of course, as soon as we got this stuff, this retro one arrived. So we didn't really technically need it anymore, but we did have that. So I just wanted to show off what the Action Force accessory pack for the original Gung-Ho design looks like compared to this one that they're making for Gung-Ho. So just want to show that off as well. But overall, like I said, I really like this one a lot, just with that blue color they chose. But let's do his movement. So his head can twist all the way around and he can look down that far and up that far. So again, you can see that neck joint in there, and then has the lower neck joint as well for the additional movements. Shoulders can come up to 90, and he does have a butterfly joint there. It doesn't really move too much, but it is there. And his joints are just overall stiff, but can rotate all the way around. He's got a bicep twist, the double elbow joint that can bend up that far, which isn't bad. Wrist can twist around and flex back and forth. We have the ab crunch in there. You can see the cutout, so crunch forward and crunch back. Can't go too far back because of his jacket. Of course, has the waist twist and crunch as well, so crunch back and forth and twist around. Hip can come up 90, out to the side. He can do the splits. Thigh twist all the way around. A double knee joint that's stiff, but can bend up that far, so not the best. We have a shin twist at the top of the boot, and then the foot can flex back and forth and twist side to side. So overall, a pretty good figure. No major issues with him or anything, just some limited and stiff joints, but doesn't make this bad figure at all. But he comes with a number of accessories as well. So first off, let's get his hat on. So he comes with the hat, but this time it's just it's all dark colors, so it doesn't feel like it fits in very well with the rest of his outfit, but he's just got his big hat that sits on his head and has a design on the front, so some sort of military logo design. So it just sits up there, so it sits on pretty well, but it doesn't like fall off as you see I'm shaking. So it does pretty well, but if you barely touch it, it'll probably fall off. He also comes with a backpack, so much like Lady Jaye, just this all color again in that blue or aqua design there. That looks pretty cool. So let's peg this into his back. So it just pegs right in there. And then he comes with some weapons. So we have a knife, this awesome knife design that we can put into the little sheath down here on his leg. So it slides in there. We get some guns. So first off, we have a little pistol gun. So this gun looks pretty good. You know, looks relatively realistic and everything. So that's cool. That'll stick into the thigh holster here. That just sticks right in there. And finally, we get his signature weapon of a grenade launcher, which is pretty cool. So that looks awesome. Much more realistic, but pretty bulkier than like a real one. So let's try and put this into his hand. So there I got the gun in his hand finally. It was pretty hard to fit into his hand, just his arms all weird and stuff, just trying to be able to get it in there, but I was finally able to. So there's the gun in his hand, and overall he just looks really cool. I love the color, just his overall design, and I forgot to put him on the base plate, so we have the base plate as well. So Gung-Ho's all kitted out now and just looks awesome. Like I said, this is probably the best one because he looks so much different compared to the original one. Overall, he just looks really cool here, and so very nice figure overall for Gung-Ho. Well, there's all of our G.I. Joe Classified Series Retro Cardback Wave 1 figures, where we had Baroness, Lady Jaye, Destro, and Gung-Ho. All four of these figures are really cool. I really like them a lot. Like I said, they're probably the best forms of these figures, so if you haven't had any of these, or if you just want to replace them, I do recommend getting these figures, because they all are pretty much better than those originals. So that's going to be it for these Walmart exclusive figures. Let me know what you thought of them down in the comments, and if you enjoyed my review, let me know with a thumbs up. I want to thank you all for watching. I hope you all stay awesome out there, and I'll see you in our next review.